This is dictation at 160 words a minute. The house was an absolute mess. What is an absolute number? They had absolute proof of the crime. Are you absolutely sure about that? He was absolutely in favor of the move. Ken conceded that it was absolutely true. Philosophers don't believe in absolutes. Politics does not deal in absolutes. Death is one of the absolutes of life. The papers are all here except that one. Everyone has left except Maryland. The houses are well kept except that one. The sales tax law accepts food purchases. The cost of the tour accepts children. The parking law accepts the handicapped. The law accepted seeing eye dogs. The admission price accepted children. The new rule accepted seniors. Is the school accepting the alumni? The rule is accepting them from the tax. We are accepting out-of-date tickets. He took exception to everything I said. They did not make an exception for me. Will you make just one exception? The exceptions would fill volumes. The record was full of exceptions. The law had far too many exceptions. She had exceptional talent. David showed exceptional skill. That paper was really exceptional. He is doing exceptionally well. Linda is exceptionally gifted. I am exceptionally tired tonight. That man is our next door neighbor. My neighbor borrowed the lawnmower. I really don't know my neighbor. Mr. and Mrs. Jones are our neighbors. Our neighbors have two big dogs. Those people are the new neighbors. We just moved into the neighborhood. We are planning a neighborhood party. She lives in a pleasant neighborhood. There is a shed on the neighboring lot. That section is in a neighboring area. We have the neighboring property. The little boy played with the train. She was more than a little surprised. Mary brought the dog home. A cute kitten has an acute case of cat fever. Please mark a cross on this drawing to show where he went across the street. They reached an accord on the price of a cord of wood. He is a ward of the court and cannot spend his award. Fred bought a side of beef and set it aside for the winter. I assure you that fleet lady in the 5th race is a sure thing. He wanted to buy a Ford convertible, but he couldn't afford it. He said that the round trip to work is about 10 miles if he goes around the lake. His judgment was right. Are you sure we will be welcome in the city? There are a number of cities on the river. I want to send her a thank you note. You are welcome to help yourself. Use better judgment. The judge was present at the welcoming ceremony. Thank you for all the good wishes. You can't go to all the cities on the map. The judge was the best customer in the city. The customers were flocking to the sale. The mayor welcomed the actor into the city. Thank you for sending us those customers. We hope that the new assignment will bring some improvement. Check the endorsement on each check. No replacement of a lost check can be made. What inducement can we offer to get greater achievement? We don't want any resentment over the new rules for proper deportment. This is not a punishment and should not place you in a predicament. This is an important element. Give me a moment. Is the cement hard yet? I know they will make an adjustment. The controls are in the basement of the tenement. Grace is suffering from some new ailment. She is living in a retirement home. The monument was to honor John's achievement. Stop fomenting trouble. I was born in Arkansas, my brother in Tennessee, my sister in North Carolina, and my mother and father in Michigan and Minnesota. My parents met in Georgia and got married in South Carolina. They first lived in Kentucky, but then they moved to Texas. We lived in Iowa, Louisiana, and Mississippi. When I was 10, I visited my aunt in Virginia. The following summer, I went to camp in West Virginia. My brother and sister stayed with our grandparents in Ohio. When I was 12, my parents took us to Connecticut during the fall, where we saw the leaves turn color. We were in New Hampshire, Massachusetts, and Rhode Island also. When I was 16, I worked for a company in New Jersey. This company bought parts in Oregon, Pennsylvania, Utah, and Wisconsin. The products were sold in North Dakota, South Dakota, Maryland, and Vermont. The company sent sales representatives to New Mexico, Nevada, Colorado, and Iowa. I graduated from school in Washington. My first job was in Arizona. The company I worked for had main offices in Florida and California. There were also offices in New Mexico, Maine, Alabama, and Delaware. Eventually, I moved to New York, where I lived for 4 years. Then I took a vacation in Hawaii. I returned but had to take a flight that made stops in Kansas and Nebraska. During my absence, my employer had gotten accounts in Alaska, Missouri, and Iowa, and I was very happy to hear it. My sister moved to Montana and my brother moved to Oklahoma. The following year, I moved to Illinois. That didn't suit me, so then I tried Idaho and Wyoming and found that I really liked the atmosphere in the West. I particularly liked the feeling in Montana and the northern part of Wyoming around Cody and Sheridan.